was in my most reflective thoughts. And, it struck my mind to have a person this time on Inside Out who could actually help lighten up the pressure of performance on people. You know that, I know that. There's a lot of pressure on people these days, not only due to the pandemic. The performance pressure is kind of a natural design in the brain architecture of humans that is there, available, present all the time. And the name that grabbed my eye was Vivek Arora. Vivek is the co founder and a leader mentor with an experience of more than 22 years. That's quite big. In the space of advancement and consistency, he has instructed, prepared, conducted workshops for more than 40,000 representatives. And he also consulted the organizations both in India and overseas. Well, if you want to know about him, he cares passionately about the people he works with and combines his, that solid experience of years and the depth of expertise with a very, very user-friendly approach. And I strongly feel that, people are always beautiful. It's just the lens that we wear sometimes, or we just hold it right in front of us. That kind of forces us to look at them with a different perspective or maybe full of judgments. So this particular discussion with Vivek, it was a great encounter for me, as it was an unadulterated, candid type of an interview that prompted reflections.
I wanted to become an actor, but I think two things were constant in my life. One was I was learning, educating myself, picked up a degree in business management, but at the same time I was constantly doing theatre.
And a few nibbles of singing at the end, That was beautiful. So I cherished it, and I trust the watchers will adore it as well. So watch it out. So, hi Vivek, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. You tell, how is it going in the pandemic?
Oh, I'm lots of stuff. There's help that needs to be done. There's work. There are people who need support. Somebody needs oxygen. Somebody needs us to call. So all that is going on.
Right. I think each one of us are on the same page when it comes to supporting people in need these days. And that's a wonderful thing that we can actually do at this point in time.
Yeah.
Well, Vivek, as much as I know about you, I know you come from the training space, right? And it's been long that I've been associated, and I have also attended one or two of your programs, and I was quite fascinated also. So just let me know, out of my curiosity, I really want to understand how was your childhood? Because as I see you today, I'm sure there must be a lot of stories behind in your childhood. So tell us something about who you are, where were you born, and maybe some introduction to your family.
Sure, I'll tell you. The fascinating story about me is that when I was young, I didn't play lots of sports. I didn't have lots of outdoor, indoor sports. But in my room, I had a whiteboard and lots of permanent markers. Also had a board and, a chalk. And that was my sports. I used to only teach when I was young. When I was in class 9, I was teaching class 2. When I was in class 10, I was teaching class 8. Believe me, when I graduated from school, I was already teaching class 10th and 11th economics.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's I I kind of just held on to it, and I even today I'm doing just the same thing. It's just the audience has changed.
So is that in a way you're trying to tell that as a child your plays, your free plays and your unstructured plays are somewhere telling you this is what you're going to be in the future?
Absolutely, in my case, it's so true. Not that I thought that I will be a teacher for the rest of my life. I wanted to become an actor. I was born in a place in East Delhi called Shahadra. Went to a school called Lovely Public. Very interesting. If
Mm-hmm.
you go back to my school days, people will remember me as somebody who's just constantly into debates, mono acting, lots of different music, dance, everything else. So I wanted to become an actor.
Okay.
I was a part of the National School of Drama's repertory company,
Mm-hmm.
and but I think two things were constant in my life. One was I
Okay.
was learning, educating myself, picked up a degree in business management, also went to America, picked up a degree in international marketing. I studied psychology. But at the same time, I was constantly doing theater.
Hmm.
So when the time came that I was to choose my career, obviously the first choice was that I will go into business, pick up a job.
Hmm.
I joined Standard Chartered Bank. But
Okay.
very soon I realized this was not my calling. I
So
wanted to
how,
go
how
back.
long did you take to actually reach to your calling? I mean, you joined your Standard Chartered Bank, and then when did you realize, okay, this is not the space for you?
Yeah, so I work with Stanchart. I work with a company in America. But I realized when I was in the corporate world, I wanted to go back. I was always keen to either train people in the organization or, in America, I was training salespeople. And I realized this is what I like doing.
Okay. Mhm.
And I was going to tell you the two constant things. One, I was studying, and I was also doing theater on the side.
Okay.
So
Okay.
educating myself and being in theater. But
Hmm.
when I was in corporate, I realized that I needed to utilize my skills of being able to work with people, train theater. And I'm so fortunate that I got the calling.
Hmm.
I, I started training, and I'm able to now utilize my teaching as well as my psychology,
Hmm.
as well as my theater.
Later. Hmm.
So we have an organization called Pause Play. We go into organizations, we literally take a pause with them
Okay.
and we play with them.
Hmm.
We use theater techniques to bring about transformation in behavior.
Okay.
Typically, an organization would invite us and say, "Here is a set of our leaders,
Hmm.
and we'd like you to create bonding amongst them. We'd like you to maybe make them better communicators,
Okay.
help them present well."
Hmm.
Many of our clients, like American Express, we work with Coca-Cola, Pepsi. We work with both Coca-Cola and PepsiCo.
Okay. Hmm.
Um, so this is my work,
Hmm.
and I'm very fortunate that I was able to sort of amalgamate my passion,
Hmm.
what I learned, and also what I wanted to do.
So,
The
so
only regret is that
yeah.
I couldn't become an actor. I was not in films. I was not on stage.
On screen, probably on stage you are, maybe when you're training people, but yes, on screen. So
Yeah.
I am now getting inquisitive more to see, this is what you're telling, where you have been and how you are here. I want to know those examples, those the episodes of your life, the whole transition. You were teaching when you were quite young. One, what made you teach at that point in time? Then you kind of brought all your three plays, theater and your trainings and teaching together. So I'm sure there must be a journey behind. It didn't happen in a day. Right. So there must be a journey behind from where it started, then it went to a particular space. And I want to know what are those choices that you have picked up in your past? What are those opportunities you had, but you picked up, say, one, two, and three that brought you here where you are today? So tell us some examples, tell us some stories, some episodes of you, your team, or probably tell us the work culture at your place. As much as I know, and I have visited only once or twice, not much, I've always felt that there's a very different kind of a culture at your workplace. So how did you do it all? Tell us something about that.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I'm glad you asked this because obviously there were moments in my life that constantly kept dictating that I'm cut out for this and this is what I should be doing.
Right.
And then people came along, we formed a team. But some stories, instances that I would remember is one, I'm in class 9 and my sister's in class 12. And it's 2 o'clock in the night and she has an exam next day.
Hmm.
And she says, मेरे को ना ये लर्न नहीं हो रहा सोशियोलॉजी आई वांट यू टू जस्ट इसको थोड़ा ड्रामेटाइज करके मुझे बता दे मुझे स्टोरी बता दे देन आई विल लर्न इट एंड हियर आई गो obviously I'm 3 years younger to her. I pick up a book of sociology. I'm reading, and after just reading maybe a paragraph or two, I start sort of storytelling and I start using my theatrics.
So why don't you depict one? Why don't you depict one for us to actually have that feel of,
No, absolutely. I mean, um, simple things like not in such, so I don't remember an example from sociology, but simple things like how does a volcano happen? And for me, the whole idea was not to cram it, not to read it. Okay, I'd say, okay, एक चरिमची लाते हैं. This is water base. है उसके ऊपर 2 paper plates रखते हैं. These are let's say plates. And then I'm bringing those plates together to tell her that see how a mountain is formed and this is the volcano. Now she's visually experiencing all that so that she can retain it much better. And the request usually was तू जरा मुझे कुछ करके दिखा दे तू मुझे स्टोरी बना के दिखा दे इसका तू मुझे इसको विजुअल बना के दिखा दे and then I'll remember. So early on in my life I remember this was the sort of reinforcement that I got. And it was very clear तू बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाता है.
Okay.
And I think I latched on to that appreciation. And it's like whatever you are appreciated for early in your life, you definitely sort of hold on to it and you move in that direction.
Absolutely.
So it was always my theatrics and my ability to use theater into either teaching or economics and stuff like that. Another one that I remember is an instance. I was in America, and I think maybe a year or so I was enrolled into a university, and one fine evening I saw an advertisement that says 15-day workshop in New York City by a gentleman called Anthony Robbins. $450. It was too much at that point in time. I think whatever I had saved with me, I spent to enroll myself to that workshop. I was in New York City. I think 5th day into that workshop, I literally got up from my chair and I said, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Wow.
I'm going to be helping myself and others unlock their potential. I don't think I have looked back ever since. And this is what I've been doing. So all Stanchart was left behind, some corporate left behind. And I got up and I said, I'd like to work with people. I'd like to train. So I moved back to my country, started working for an organization called Time Manager International. I think they really taught me how to manage time. That precisely after 2.5 years of working with them, I started my own company called Life Strategies. And even till today, I'm leading that company, Life Strategies. Our brand is called Pause Play.
Okay.
But we're essentially a company. And I think everyone that I met saw this passion. And passionate people started coming along. In my team, there are people who are trained in psychology. There are people who are trained in psychotherapy. They're trained in drama therapy. Some of them are instructional designers. So we all come together and create experiences for our participants. And because the work that we do is not just very cerebral, it touches the heart.
Right.
And you can't do it if you are not living it yourself.
Absolutely. Mm.
And of course, there have been moments where we realize, okay, we are talking about a subject or doing a program, but we're not living it ourselves.
Right. Mm.
Therefore, there was a constant hit to live
Like,
what we are preaching.
hmm.
And I think that's unlocked me and many people who work with me today.
Okay, maybe that's one of the values you carried in your company, that whatever you do is basically first you are living it up and then you're able to produce those outcomes for people outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise you can do it.
Yeah.
You can talk about stuff.
Yes.
I remember a concept which says people are the core of what you do. This is very
Mm.
easy to go into an organization like Airtel and say, oh, people are the core of what you do.
So, mm.
But then you come back to your office and somebody says, yeah, I can't manage this expectation of a client because I have a personal need.
Yeah.
At this point, you can't block. You have
Yeah.
to realize, okay, here is our most important resource.
Yes.
Let's take care of them, and so that they can take care of our customers.
Right. Absolutely. And when you just said that you joined the course for $450, which was quite a huge amount at that point in time for you, I don't know, it somehow gives me a message that you learn from the best and you compress your timeline. So, what made you go after Anthony Robbins? I think you mentioned.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what made you select that person for you to be your mentor?
Anthony's written books like Unleash the Giant Within. I have a book sitting right here. Is it
Okay.
Awaken the Giant Within You by Anthony Robbins? Can I pull it very quickly?
Sure.
I think lots of books fell, but
Hmm.
I will take care of this. This was important. Anthony is one of the motivational gurus in the West. So he's trained people like Bill Clinton's and Prince of Saudi Arabia and stuff.
Hmm.
The whole idea is that if you unlock yourself, then you reach your own potential, which you are aware of. It's like, so I can do this.
Yeah, that's what I was more interested in knowing, because I meet a lot of people and I see a lot of people. I see them on the outside and I feel they have huge capabilities and potential, but somehow they themselves do not realize that they are capable, and probably something is there that stops them. I don't know what is not helping them unlock their potential. So share something, the thought processes that you bear at that point in time, and you felt that okay, this is something I need to unlock. This is somewhere I want to see myself, and these are the steps I'm going to take, and I reach there. So what made you take those decisions and steps? Were you not scared at some time? Were you not fearful? Were there no challenges? What was it that played a wand for you and you kind of made a way for yourself?
Yeah. So, for me, the concept of what is my potential, for me is kind of imaginary because I don't even know what I can do. It's like a dancer. You every day you rehearse and you perform,
Mm.
and at the end of the performance, you realize, look at yourself and say, I did really well today.
Yes.
Um, but the other thought is, that step that I did and that beat that I missed
And
could have been better.
yes.
So for me, the whole concept about reaching the potential is don't know where I'm going to eventually be, but what I know is constant and never ending improvement,
Right.
which to me simply means reflecting at the end of your performance or even a day
Hmm.
and saying, okay, what did I do today? I wrote some emails, I had some meetings, I had a discussion with a client. In this discussion with the client, how was I?
Mm.
And then you reflect on it and say, I was good, my preparation good, I knew their need, I did my research in advance, but I possibly didn't get my PPT ready. What
Mm.
am I going to do tomorrow? Do all that I did and also be ready with my
Add
PPT. So,
on.
and I think this is what I picked up from Anthony Robbins. He
Okay.
talked about a concept called "Can I?"
Hmm.
And to me, that's my driving force.
Hmm.
And when you live that on a continuous basis, you are unlocking yourself to who knows what
Yeah.
your potential is.
Yes, it's. I think you're the best person to know that.
You just discover it.
Yeah.
You say, I was better than what I did yesterday.
Ah.
And of course, Sonal, sometimes you feel, oh, I was not good at all. So there's lots of gap between what I did earlier and what I could do
True.
today.
True.
So all your job is to keep bridging that gap. Stay in the present, bridge
Hmm.
that gap, move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And I think then you are your own coach for the life.
Yes.
Just be on it. Keep doing. Have right people around, right mentors, so that you pick up something which is kind of helping you leverage what you already have and then shape it pretty well day by day.
Absolutely.
Right, that's so beautiful to know. That's a lovely message. I am presupposing it's going to be a lovely message for many who are looking for the outside validations from the world for their work. And sometimes
Yeah.
they stop then and there, and they're not even taking the step forward because they don't get those validations. So that's a very good thing. I think I would also want to know that, is it necessary for a person to be on a skill other than what the person is doing professionally? Like you said, it's like a dance. It just struck my mind.
Yeah.
So to kind of understand the beauty of this behavior, the beauty of the human nature, that you do something well, and then you feel on a later stage, yeah, you could be better on that. So some people, I mean, I'm myself a person who would not realize while I'm there in the field, I'm there in my profession doing something, until and unless I pick up some skills, say like singing, like dancing. There probably I'm able to see, okay, I wanted to have this move, I could not do, so better I do this. But I do not realize this in my professional sphere much. So I want to know from you, what do you suggest? A person who is professionally driven should also be more driven towards their hobbies, towards extracurriculars. Is that adding something more to a person's persona, or we can do away with it? Like, I have seen you
Long.
and your team more into a lot of extracurriculars, and that's why this question to you. I've
No,
seen you guys
absolutely.
singing, I've seen you guys dancing, I've seen you guys celebrating your days. So sometimes you're doing a role play or something on certain occasions. I've seen them and witnessed them. So that's why I'm asking, what makes you do all that?
You know, of course, my work is will sound very interesting. So if I'll say I'm a corporate trainer, I go into
Yeah.
organizations, work with people. But when you do it 1 year and you do it 3 years and 5 years, 7 years, at the end of the day, it's about going with your experiences, with your toolbox,
Mm.
delivering a session, facilitating a workshop, coming back. So, to your question, should we have something like a hobby or something, and I'm using words here, like an inspiration?
Yeah.
Answer is yes, yes, yes.
Hmm.
Because anything that you do, even the most interesting things, you could be a travel vlogger. By the end of your 8 countries, you'll say, okay, I'm holding a camera and I'm going to walk and tell people the currency and where.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
everything tends to become a little monotonous.
Hmm.
So you need to have something else that can constantly inspire you.
Hmm.
And what I notice is that in my case, and many of my team members always find time to go back to either theater or dancing or whoever wants. Some of them are painting. Some of them can. There are facilitators, but they love counseling. So for
Oh,
them, just even on the side, spending 2 hours with someone and working with their personal dilemma conflict
right.
is a time off.
Yeah.
For me, singing ghazals.
Hmm.
But मजेदार बात ये होती है कि I am a corporate facilitator, but in the evening if I'm singing a ghazal, and I also have a teacher, so it says, यार तू ना जगजीत सिंह को कॉपी करने की कोशिश मत कर. You just have to have something original. So the
Okay.
immediate thought is, am
Hmm.
I also doing it in other aspects of my life? Am I
Right.
also?
Exactly. Yes, this
And
is what my point was. Like those skills sometimes becomes your force for you to kind of generalize things in your life, you know. You're so beautifully learning, evolving, and then it kind of gets you notice it gets generalized. You're in the kitchen cooking, you're cooking in the most beautiful way. And it just
absolutely,
happens.
absolutely. You could be kitchen. You could be cooking in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen the other day,
Yeah.
and my housemate tells me, भैया ये ना करेले जो है ना इनको धीमी आंच पे रखो. So I asked her, I said, इसको तेज क्यों नहीं? कहती है ये फिर तेज कर दोगे बाहर से जल जाएंगे अंदर से पकेंगे नहीं.
Right.
And it's like going back to your team,
The core, yes,
the
yes,
core,
yes.
which is if you give too much of heat to your people, let's say give
Yeah.
feedback or tell them that they're or being very critical with them, it's like heat.
Yes, yes.
तो आँच तो आप कर लोगे तेज लेकिन वो जल जाएंगे.
चल
I
जाएंगे.
think we burn people like that also.
Absolutely.
So I feel that there's work that we do,
Hmm.
and because we continuously keep looking at our work like this, we
Hmm.
sometimes miss insights. So the
Absolutely.
moment we take a break,
Hmm.
whether we just sit in silence
Hmm.
or we go to Rishikesh for 5 days or do my ghazal class or
Hmm. Hmm.
Sonal, what would it be for you?
I've recently discovered that I've started loving singing,
Yeah.
and I was not at all into it. I'm a busy woman from morning till evening, but the pandemic has kind of opened doors for me too, where I realized, okay, I can be a singer. Not exactly singer. I was trying to again challenge myself whether I will be able to hit those notes like an expert or a singer who is there at the top. So I started mirroring in the last 1 year, and I found a very good guru of mine. She's from Pune. And I believe, yes, it does work. Whenever you have some time for you, your free time, and you are on a skill, it really, really generalizes. And especially when I sing at night while sleeping, in the morning, I wake up singing. What else can be a great validation?
Wow.
That it really shifts your mindset. So, yes,
Yeah.
I am on singing, and I really want you to sing for us today. Since you just admitted that you are learning ghazals and you have a guru. So, go ahead, inspire many.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. I mean, प्रॉब्लम कहीं और होती है, काम में एक सवाल उठ रहा है, उसका जवाब आपको कहीं और से मिल रहा है, आपकी हॉबी से,
Exactly.
you know.
Right. It happens many a times.
And that's what inspiration does.
Yes. And I think we have to get on that verge of thinking at the level that things are very simple. You have the
Yeah.
answers. Sometimes you are looking for an answer somewhere you won't find, and
Yeah.
it is just next to you, simply just next to you, and it is so effortless. If you just pivot your focus, it's there. So
Absolutely.
you're right, and I think human brain needs a lot of exercises to get to that level of mindfulness, um, and singing does help. I highly vote for singing.
I'm still with the thought how beautifully some of so-called um, your dilemmas get answered through your hobby. And I'll give you an example. I was running a workshop on coaching,
Okay.
and so I was with the participant, and we were generally talking about curiosity about your team members. Okay, if you're coaching someone,
Mhm.
how much do you know your people?
Right.
So we were in conversation, and I said, how about knowing about their goals, what's going on in their life? And
Mm.
so the immediate question was, but Vivek, these are professional relationships.
Hmm.
Do we really have to know people that well? I mean, will people open up? Will people share about themselves?
Hmm.
What if I ask questions and people find it intrusive and stuff? And और मुझे एकदम से गजल याद आया. I had no other answer. uh, and I'm going to sing that for
Yeah.
you and
Sure.
anybody who may be watching this. It's
Yes.
Jagjit Singh's ghazal. It says, uh, प्यार का पहला खत लिखने में वक्त तो लगता है, प्यार का पहला खत लिखने में वक्त तो लगता है, नए परिंदों को उड़ने में वक्त तो लगता है. Well, I really meant that you are
Wow.
a new coach. It does take
Yeah.
a little while, but this stanza that I thought of really, I think,
Yeah, it's quite
for
nailing
both
it.
of us.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it says, जिस्म की बात नहीं थी, उनके दिल तक जाना था.
Hmm.
जिस्म की बात नहीं थी, उनके दिल तक जाना था. लंबी दूरी तय करने में वक्त तो लगता.
Yes, beautiful, very nice. Like, um, see how light the atmosphere can be when you are being like this, even at your workspace. Something is happening and you're answering through the songs and living it up in your culture. How beautiful is that? Yeah.
I mean, I've learned it like this.
Yeah, I think
Because,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That see, that's the whole purpose of Inside Out channel. Meeting different people will always give you different insights, different lives, different experiences, different ecosystems, and then we can, kind of scrutinize and see what can I pick up from here
wow,
to enhance my life. What is that resonates well to me? How can I be congruent to this person and pick up and reach to the states of the way this person is? Probably, you have to give those anecdotes to people to mirror, to adapt, to feel. And, I don't know, you are somewhere, staying somewhere, and I'm here. I don't know what's happening in your life.
yes.
And it's not worth ignoring. People are living beautifully. They have their experiences and learnings where we need to kind of pick them up, filter. It's like the concept in neurology. You must be knowing better that there is a kind of a detection and selection happening in the brain. So I am on my that journey of detecting and selecting people and bringing those stories forward for people.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for doing that because I enjoyed your show. I think I was watching your show and you asked the first question to your interviewee
Mhm.
and you said, "Who are you?" I thought that was a fantastic question.
Yeah. So I never wanted to know where you're born. I'm not interested in that. Probably I'll pick up from Wikipedia or somewhere. You are quite a great trainer. I can pick up from your company. But really, I want to know who you are in real terms. What person are you? And how are you perceiving your life? So it was really interesting talking to you, Vivek. I would like you to give a message to my listeners, to the people. Uh, yes, I have a soft corner for children, So I want you to give a message for that parent community who are raising the youth, because I strongly believe that as much work you can do in the early years of children is going to help them throughout in their life, and then we will have a sane community around.
Yeah,
So give a message. What do you think out of your
yeah.
own experiences in the context of education, in the context of behavior, since you are an expert in it? So just let us know something.
Well, my message to you, then, to your lovely audience and children or people who are parenting, my message, and I got inspired by Anthony Robbins and also my colleague Anand, who talks about this. He talks about reflection time. I think one habit that we can promote with our children and also for ourselves is at the end of the day reflecting on what is it that we did, what is it that we want to celebrate, and what could we have done better. So I'm still, going with the same message of constant and never ending improvement. But it's only possible if you, before you retire for the day, reflect. How was I today?
Yeah.
How was my productivity? How was my quality? How was my relationships with people? And if you promote this in children, to also allow them, okay, can you reflect? How was you? Close eyes, do this, whatever way.
Yeah, right.
Maybe somebody would write it on their journal. That's the message I want to give to your audience, Sonal.
Okay. Thank you so much. And that's so beautiful. I think that has to be instilled in each one of us, especially in the parents who are raising these children. And we expect a lot of responsibility and maturity from children, but somewhere on the way, we forget that we are the ones who have to instill and install these things in them. So thank you so much. It was wonderful knowing you more. And if you can end with another song, if you don't mind.
Thank you so much for just chatting with me like this. I mean, you
My
only
pleasure.
spoke to me day before yesterday and said, oh, let's do it. And
Yeah.
I immediately agreed. And I said, yeah, we can do this. And um, so to end this, I would, if you don't mind, I'll sing another ghazal.
Sure, go ahead, please. Your voice is really nice.
Thank you.
As if meant for ghazals.
So the mood is quite somber these days, and I know a lot of people have lost their loved ones. They may be missing their family members.
True.
Um, in many ways, this has also been very difficult for all of us in the family.
You're right.
So I want to dedicate this song for everyone who's lost.
Sure.
चिट्ठी न कोई संदेश हो चिट्ठी न कोई संदेश जाने वो कौन सा देश कहाँ तुम चले गए चिट्ठी न कोई संदेश जाने वो कौन सा देश कहाँ तुम चले गए कहाँ तुम चले गए इस दिल को लगा के ठेस जाने वो कौन सा देश कहाँ तुम चले गए.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Your voice actually touches. It was amazing communicating with you, and we will stay in touch. Probably, I would love to visit you soon.
Thank you.
And
please
learn more.
Okay, we can. This is community. We can learn from each other.
Sure.
And thank you for making this community, Sonal. You're doing an absolutely wonderful job.
Thank you so much. People like you keep inspiring, and I'm on my journey.
Thank you.